Chapter 9, Part 3. More negative expressions. They just keep coming and they get a little bit more complicated each time we look at them. Well, here we're going to look at ne followed by ni and ni. And that's how you say neither nor. Je n'ai ni beauté ni intelligence. I have neither beauty nor intelligence. Oh, that sounds a little discouraging. So that ni is how we can uh, make things. The first one just makes it kind of like the neither, and the second is like the nor. Now, sometimes we'll see ni in other strings of negatives, and it'll still be translated as nor in general. Nul, ne. So nul as masculine would be nul, and as feminine would be nulle. That means no one. And this has a proverb sounding to it. It's kind of old French, but people use it when they want to sound like they're a prophet. And one of the common sayings in French is nul n'est prophète dans son pays. No one is a prophet in his own country. That's a Bible verse. Jesus talking about being rejected in Galilee, where he was from. So nul, no one is a prophet. This prophet is a profession. We don't put articles in front of professions in French. No one is a prophet in his own country, literally in his country or her country, but in English it says better in his own country. So some negative adverbs are nullement and aucunement, and they mean not at all. If you need a negative adverb, you can, they can come out as not at all. And once again, I want to remind you to watch out for the word pas. Ne pas is a general word for negative expressions, but sometimes it means step. I've seen too many people make these mistakes on the final exam. Il ne faut pas parler. So that's il faut, it must, or you must. Ne pas would be negative, so you must not speak. Un faux pas is a false step. And so that's why if somebody does something that's a little bit awkward or a mistake, you can call it a faux pas. It's a false step. It's like you're tripping. A false step is like when you trip or and fall down. So watch out for pas. Okay, now we are coming to the most difficult of all of the negative expressions. I call it the killer. Ne and que. So we've already seen lots of things we can use ne for, lots of negative expressions. Now we're going to use it with the word que, which we've already seen means that or who or whom. It's used all over the place. But when it's used with ne, its translation, translation de base, its basic translation is only. So we might have a sentence, je n'ai que la tristesse. So je is the subject, avoir is the subject, and then the ne que could be like is only. I have only, la tristesse is sadness. I have only sadness. Or I have nothing but sadness. Because when we say I have only sadness, it doesn't sound like a negative expression. But if I say, translated as I have nothing but sadness, nothing but, yeah, that sounds like a negative expression. I have nothing except sadness. So that's how ne and que can be a negative expression if you translate it as nothing but or nothing except. You can almost always translate as nothing but or nothing except, but sometimes only just sounds a lot better. Now, in these expressions ne and que, the que precedes that which is limited. Je n'ai qu'étudié le français. We've got the je and the avoir, I only, or I have, and then the ne que is in front of étudier, the past participle. So studied is what is limited. So I only studied French. I didn't live in France. Uh, 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 how did you learn French? I only studied French. I did nothing but study French, would be a way of saying that. So that's the only goes in front of the étudier. Je n'ai étudié que le français. So here we've got the que after étudier, but in front of le français means I studied only French. That is, I didn't study Spanish. I studied nothing but French. So that can help you figure out what's being limited in these ne que expressions. So here are some exercises, and these are difficult again because there's words that sometimes are used in negative expressions, sometimes they're not. So you'll have to look them up in in your dictionary, especially number 3. You'll have to look up nul in your dictionary to see what it means when it's a noun. So work on these and write out a translation, and when you're done, you can go to the next video.